Today we are looking at the Logitech K780 keyboard. So this Logitech keyboard is mainly used for creatives. If you're going to be using multiple PCs or laptops or any other devices, then you want to switch between your devices. Now, this keyboard enables you to switch between three devices simultaneously, providing you have either Bluetooth connection or the Logitech Unify wireless dongle in each device. For instance, if you have a PC, a laptop, and maybe a Mac, because this is also Mac compatible as well as Windows compatible, you can switch between, you can go from your PC and you select number 1, then you can select number 2 to select your laptop, and then you can select number 3 to switch over to your Mac. So this is really handy for any YouTube creators, maybe anyone who's maybe doing video editing, anyone who's doing production work, anything like that really. This isn't really a gaming keyboard, although you could use it for a gaming keyboard. But personally, I do think this is very much aimed at the creative, at the sort of business side. Maybe you could even use it for as well if you were doing office and sort of business tasks, if you will. But it's more aimed towards like video creators or maybe like Photoshop editors or things like that, really more creative type. So today we'll be taking an unboxing of this keyboard, and we'll be sort of just looking at the features that it has. Now, just from the packaging, as we can see, it does have like a little stand here initially when you at the top of the keyboard, so you can actually put your mobile phone there, and you could actually use your mobile phone as another device if you wanted to use it as well, because this is compatible with Windows, Mac, Chrome OS, Android and iOS devices. So really great compatibility there, and that's really good from Logitech. It comes with the Logitech Unifying USB connector, which is really nice, as well as two AA batteries, so AAA batteries this uses. The keys are kind of the circular sort of type, so a little bit different. Some people might not like that, but I think that's perfectly fine for me. This is going to be, like I say, my keyboard for creating my YouTube content going forward, so I can switch between PCs easily. So when I've got my test PC or my benchmark PC, I can then switch to my sort of main sort of YouTube creation PC, and that's just going to really help me. I paid £35 for this on Amazon. It actually came used. This is actually a used version, so it isn't actually new. Although the new version, I think, is kind of around about £60 currently. But I got this for Amazon warehouse deal again, which I really highly recommend you look for the Amazon warehouse deals, because you can really save a lot of money. So yeah, like I said, this is £35. I think it looks a good keyboard. Let's just take a quick look at the back here, and then we'll get into the unboxing. So the back of the keyboard packaging, pretty sort of basic, but what you'd kind of expect here. So type on any device. Obviously, like I was saying, it's compatible with loads and loads of devices. Quite comfortable typing. So it is a membrane typing. This isn't mechanical switches. Obviously at this price point you're never going to get that, especially with what the keyboard can do between switching devices. But I think membrane's perfectly fine for what I need it for, and it's going to be perfectly fine for what most people are going to need it for. Obviously if you're a high-end gamer and you're kind of a competitive gamer, then this clearly isn't for you. We have the integrated stand like I was talking about, which is where you can put like mobile phones on or any other sort of bits and pieces maybe you want to put on top of the stand, which is kind of nice. Just at the top of the keyboard there. OS adaptive, like I was saying, it goes onto multiple devices. But I think we've kind of gone on enough now. Let's get right into the unboxing. So here it is. So you just see the keyboard first. Pulls out from there. Let me just see if there's anything under the keyboard. Okay, we got a little bit about the Unifying and how to use it and what have you, and then just like a little sort of basic user manual or sort of like important safety manual, manual warranty and what have you. We'll put that to the side now. So here we go, we're just going to unwrap it now. So as you can see, it doesn't actually come with the batteries, it seems, which we'll put some batteries in, no worries. It comes with the Unifying receiver, as I said, as you can see there. Now I think if you brought this new, it probably would come with batteries, but obviously as this is used warehouse deal, it hasn't come with batteries. Just taking an initial look at the keyboard here, as I said. Here's the 1, 2, 3 buttons. They're actually in sort of like a silver or maybe a white color. This is basically where you go device 1, device 2, device 3, and then you just tune it in. And I'll just have an explanation how to tune it in. So let's talk about the pairing for this K780 keyboard. It's pretty simple. Basically, obviously, once you've put in your batteries, I've put in my 2 AAA batteries. What you want to do is, say you want to select number 1 device, you just hold down for about 3 seconds, and what happens is that the LED will start flashing. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the camera, but it starts flashing there. And then what you want to do now is go into Unifying software, and I'll just put that up on screen now. And then what you want to do is click Next. Once you've got to the next part, then you want to turn the keyboard off and on. Now the off and on switch is just at where the numpad side is. It's just here. So then you just go off, and that's the off position, and then you just go on, and that's the on position. And then it goes on to the next screen, and then you just type some letters in just to make sure that it actually all is working and it's all connected. And then you just click finish. Well, you click next and then you click finish. And then you have paired your K780 keyboard with your Unifying device, whether that be Windows or another device. Now let's go through the pairing on your phone using your Bluetooth. So this is the Bluetooth pairing. So I want to turn on my Bluetooth. I have turned on my Bluetooth here. I'm going to select number 2 by holding it down for about 3 seconds, and there we go. And then I'll go into my Bluetooth settings. So you want to go pair new device in your settings, and it says here, it says keyboard K780. So I just press that. And it says Bluetooth pairing code, and then it says type the pairing code and press return or enter, and then you just type in the code. So my code here is 170056, and I just type that on the keyboard, and then you just press return. And there we go, it's actually connected now. And my phone is just registered just to say configure physical keyboard, tap to select language and layout. So then once you've got your physical keyboard on your phone, this might be a bit different because this is an Android device. If you're iOS, then obviously it's going to be a little bit different. But you can go use on-screen keyboard, and you can go keyboard shortcuts even if you wanted to, and edit your shortcuts. And let's see if we can go, let's say if we go to, so here we are with the new browser. We just click on, type the network internet address in, and then we just press whatever, and as you can see, whatever I'm typing on the keyboard, I don't know if you can see that, let's say football, and there we go, it says football there, and there we go. So whatever you're typing on there, it actually works. So it syncs with my phone, so that's all good. Obviously then you just turn off the Bluetooth, and then it won't sync with your phone, obviously, because it's only using Bluetooth if you're going to sync it to your mobile phone. So I think that's kind of a good sort of like wrap up. Now, as I said, the rest of the keyboard, it is kind of like more sort of circular keys. I don't know if you can hear the keys pressing here. Let's just do a little typing test. Now another nice feature, like I was saying, this has actually got like Mac compatibility, so you can actually have, well, where it says Start there, it says Alt. Where it says Alt, it says CMD under it as well. So if you're using this on a Mac, it's kind of going to be really easy to know which keys you need to press for Mac. And obviously, if you're on PC, then you know exactly what keys to press as well. So it's kind of like a really nice multi-device keyboard. This is. It's kind of like one of Logitech's more sort of premium products in terms of the productivity type keyboard. You do have a numpad here, which is nice. So this is a full-size keyboard, although I'll put it up to a keyboard now, which is actually full size, and it is a little bit smaller than full size. It is actually a little bit smaller, as you can see just there at the end, by maybe, I don't know, 5 centimeters, 2 inches probably. So if you do need to save a little bit of space on your desk, this isn't bad to actually save a little bit of space on your desk. I'll just show you the stand now. So as you can see, the stand here, you just slot in your mobile phone. You could even slot it the other way. Can go up both ways, which is nice. Like that. So it's kind of nice and easy. Maybe you could even put a couple of pens in there or anything you want. So it's kind of a nice little feature to have as well. So just to wrap up this video, I'm going to give a quick little overview of what I think of the keyboard and 1 or 2 little things that I didn't quite like with it. So initially the connection wasn't totally clear of how you connect to the device, and I did have to do a little bit of Google searching, which I kind of didn't really want that to happen. And I think if you're more casual kind of user, I think maybe it could be a little bit better in terms of explaining how to connect up your device a little bit clearer. The Bluetooth setup was pretty simple, but the Unifying software wasn't the best, and I didn't actually know that the on and off button was there until I actually had to look round the keyboard and then eventually found it. So that was annoying because I wasn't being able to pair it without the on and off button. So that was a little bit of a problem. But overall, I do think this keyboard is a really good creative type keyboard. It's going to be perfect for YouTube creation or anything like video editing or anything like that. I do think the keys are quite nice and clicky, as you can tell. I mean, they're really silent as well. Well, fairly silent. I wouldn't say silent, but you know, they're quite like they're kind of like very laptopy, I would say. It's very like a laptop keyboard, where it's not like the most satisfying press when you actually press the keys, but it gets the job done, and it does feel like almost a laptop keyboard, I would say. If you're not really into that sort of keyboard and you want more of a firm press and you want that kind of more sort of mechanical type feel, then obviously this is not for you at all. But if you're someone who's just maybe writing a few documents here and there and not really doing massive amounts of like gaming on it, then yes, this is going to be more than good enough. Maybe if you're someone who is a business user who uses this 8 hours a day, probably say this keyboard isn't going to be perfect for that, because well, it depends what you're like and what you kind of feel is right for you. Another thing I would say, which it was a little bit off-putting, was that there's no actual legs on the bottom of this, so you can't actually raise the keyboard. And when I had it flat, it does seem a little bit low, and I think if you're using this a long time, as you can see, I'm very sort of close to the bottom here, and there's no lean. So unless you're going to put something under that, unless you're going to put something under there to actually prop it up, I think it might be a little bit too low for some people if you're typing. But like I say, for what I'm going to be using it for, it's going to be perfectly fine for me. And I'm certainly happy with it. And basically, I hope you had a good overview of what this keyboard is and whether it might be for you or not. Please like this video if you did like it. Drop us a dislike if you didn't like it, and leave some constructive criticism if you didn't. But if you did like it, let me know in the comments as well. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.